Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast, discussing The Ultimate Fighter, Season 29, Episode number 9. This is the first of the semi-final episodes. At the end of this one, we'll get to see the first bantamweight fight between Ricky Turcios and Luidvick Sholinian.
Two badass martial artists meeting inside the octagon. This is what we must do. This is the art of war.
But just before we get into the episode, I mentioned him at the back end of the last episode, but we agreed that it's unlikely anybody got there. So let's get this in the first couple of minutes in the hope that this person may be listening. Thanks for subscribing, Nightwalker. That's all I've got to say, but appreciate it. Hope you enjoy this episode as much as you had the other episodes. Oh, I didn't enjoy them. Okay, right, well, that's that. You ain't got nothing to say about Nightwalker, have you?
Welcome to the fold. How about that? Welcome to the gang.
Yeah, nice one.
All right.
Brilliant, thanks.
No worries.
Okay, if you needed any more proof that Miles Hunsinger has burnt his bridges, and take a look at the amended intro of this episode. He's out. And Michael Gilmore, he's in. Any imagery of Miles is gone. He's been erased. Dare I say it, they've done a fear factory on him. The infection's been removed. The soul of this machine has improved. So we know that one. So if you want to see him, then you'll have to watch our review of episode 8, because he's in that loads, getting absolutely smashed. I mean, it's good, right? But I was quite surprised that if you'd only seen this episode, you wouldn't know he even exists. He's out. They've changed it. They've actually bothered to go in and go, well, he's not in it anymore. Did you notice that? Did you expect that? I didn't expect it. But what else would I expect?
I didn't notice that he was gone, but I noticed that Gilmore was standing there with Brian Battle hands.
He was.
Yeah. He's got exactly the same pose as Brian Battle. I noticed that he'd been slipped in. I didn't realise that Hunsinger had been erased from history.
Yeah.
He's been cancelled. It's part of cancel culture.
That's true. So are we agreeing then that there's no chance for him and a shot on the final and all that, is there?
He's fudged, yeah. He needs to speak to Rettinghouse about how to get an accountancy qualification or something like that, because he ain't going to be making a living out of fighting.
People fight hurt all the time. People pull out of fights all the time. It's part of the sport. I'll be back.
I think it takes a long time, getting that certificate. I don't think that's no joke, that.
Nick Rettinghouse is then. And he keeps a close eye on it, though.
I was going to say, that's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
He's right behind him.
In the office.
He don't even have to get up to chase you. He's already standing up.
Yeah, don't even get a head start. So, yeah.
All right. The first scene in this episode is like Turcios and Battles, like having a chat about what it's been like living in the house, and that they're both bros and like on a different wavelength, so it's another one of them chats.
Sometimes I think like we've been isolated. There was just something really, really interesting about it. Like having time to be by yourself.
Ricky is like my bro, man. Like me and Ricky, we're able to talk and vibe on a different wavelength than most people.
Look, I said that Turcios was a Diego Sanchez of the season. I'm sure I've been heard saying this previous to now. And some of these chats, I mean, they were forced, weirdo, spiritual, out there chats. Like he was really making an effort to say stuff like it.
And this is the Ultimate Fighter. We're inside the octagon. This is the one shot, the one opportunity. This tournament is going to take me to a place spiritually that I've never been before.
It was all gibberish and made up crap just so that people would listen to it and go, ain't he brilliant? Isn't he special? Isn't he an individual? Isn't he very profound?
Around the house, we call Ricky the cult leader because he's got so much charisma, you know what I'm saying?
One example I can remember. This tournament's going to bring something out of his chest.
And this tournament's going to bring something out of my chest. You know what I'm saying?
See, Iron Man? What the flip's going on? Don't know what you thought of the chats. What do you think of those chats? I mean, did you think, yeah, am I right? Was he just talking a load of crap for the sake of crap? Or was it brilliant? Was it brilliant?
I can't really.
Was it inspirational? I don't know. That's how different people look at it.
I didn't. I think poor Brian Battle just got caught there in the crosshairs, didn't he? Because I don't remember him saying a single word. It was just Turcios spewing out pound shop budget philosophy bullshit. I could not believe my ears. He was, like you say, he was talking like someone who was trying to come across as philosophical, deep. I meditate. I have a connection with the other side, all this kind of garbage. And it's just like, bro, you punch people in the face for a living. Get real. Yeah. I'll tell you what, he was a real pound shop Bruce Lee. That's what it was to me.
This is what we must do. This is the art of war.
Good one, yeah.
It actually made me go, I don't really like Turcios. He's getting on my nerves.
I think it is supposed to have the opposite effect. I think it was supposed to make you go, look, this guy is a special individual.
We call Ricky the cult leader because he's got so much charisma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just thought that he's the kind of guy that after a while would just piss me off, because if I go, I don't know, get an orange juice, you can't just go and get an orange juice. You've got to sit down and have a talk about why you're choosing the orange juice and what is the connection with the orange to the earth and all this sort of stuff. It's like, you know what, sod off. Yeah. I just want a piece of pizza. Argueta got it the week before. Battle's got it. I don't know who's in the firing line next week, but if I was in the house, I'd be giving Turcios a really wide berth. I would not be going anywhere near that bloke.
Listen, I don't blame you, because it ended up being the opposite to what he was trying to achieve. He's trying to be natural and organic. And I was just listening to it going, this ain't natural organic, because he was saying stuff like the tournament's going to bring something out of his chest.
And this tournament's going to bring something out of my chest. You know what I'm saying?
He was like one of those blokes who started believing his own thing. Like what we said about Pilkington, the same sort of thing, where you start to make the most of your own hype. It's like
play up to it a bit. And it's
Thank you. There you go.
He's the guru in the house. He's the Dalsim. He's the spiritual guy.
Around the house, we call Ricky the cult leader because he's got so much charisma. You know what I'm saying?
One of these people that managed to speak, I guess this could be leveled at us as well, this accusation, but managed to speak for about 2 or 3 minutes there. And I don't think he genuinely made a point or said anything of any worth or content.
This is the life that I've created with my own 2 fists. You know what I'm saying?
It was absolute crap. So, yeah, that's the end of that. Not my kind of guy. It get on my nerves after a while. You know what it was? It reminded me of Luke Rockhold at the press conference. And if you see something, then you believe it. And if you believe it, then you can achieve it. And then obviously Bisping gave him the real, what everybody was thinking: conceive, believe, achieve, shut the F up.
That's how you put yourself out there. You believe it and you achieve it. And that's what I do. I know what I'm going to do. I know that I'm better than this.
Sounds like
I know that I'm going to knock him out.
You've ever read. Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
Battles agreed it. He came up on the screen going, me and Turcios, man, we've got things going on, 2 Gizzo and all that crap.
Can he say?
We talk about this experience, and I feel like we've kind of been on the same level the whole time.
He can't do what we've done.
Oh,
he can't do.
No,
what
that's
we've
true.
He knows he's going to bump into him again, so he's got to go like, oh yeah, he's a real spiritual guy. Whatever, man. Just chatting airy fairy nonsense don't make you spiritual.
Yeah, we'll leave bigging it up and people to love it to the other media members and journalists of the world. Right? I mean, we're a bit more raw, real, down to earth, which is what Turcios is trying to tell me he is. I've seen through it. It sounds to me like you've seen through it and all.
Mm.
Now, what I will say is in the same scene, Battle's feet were dancing. His toes were going mad, right? I don't know if this has got something to do with a Turcios effect. Something going on was sparking and interesting him, or it was going to his feet and he was trying to get rid of the crap out of his feet. I don't know the reason for it. But his feet were going mad, dancing, particularly his 2 big toes separated from his other toes and were pointing straight up in the sky. I mean, you might not have noticed it, right? But they were really pointing up to the sky. And the bit where Turcios said, there's nothing to do here. We're cut off from everything. No family, no video games. And I thought maybe Battles is imagining playing a video game. Because my cousin, when he played video games, his toes used to stretch up so hard that it looked like they were going to tear out of his socks. Something was going on with his feet. That's not to say I like feet. I'm not trying to notice feet here, because in the last episode, we had a discussion about Henna Grace's, can we call them feet? Or are we going to call them paws? Or what do you call Bigfoot's feet? Are they just called feet? Are they just called big feet? Or is there another word for Bigfoot's feet? Well, I suppose his name is Bigfoot. And if his name's Bigfoot, that's in reference to his feet. So there probably ain't another word for it. Is there another word for massive feet? Do you know one?
Not off the top of my head. I'll have a think about it. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I might have to ask the Hick. He's the wordsmith of the group. In the background in this scene, same scene, there's a camera bloke or a tradesman. He walks past in the back right-hand corner. He's obviously there to fix a leaking tap or something like that, because he walks past really quick. I just noticed it out the corner of my eye. Maybe I was not as engrossed as Turcios wanted me to be in the chat that I noticed a bloke walking past in the background. The reason I'm going to say he's a tradesman is because he was wearing clothes like Woods wears to work. That's the sort of clothes, you know. And it made me realise, it sort of got me twigging. I said, these blokes in this house, the contestants, they never wear normal clothes. Not ever. Now, we know they take normal clothes with them. We know they do, because sometimes they get lucky enough to be taken out on a treat. We're going to take the boys out for a treat to kick back and all that. And you see them all dress up. And you know they've got clothes. But have you seen any of them so far wear a normal pair of shorts, a normal T-shirt, or even socks in that house? Do you think it's an agreement they have to make? You're only allowed to wear tough clothes? What do you reckon? Because it only made me realise when I saw the tradesman go past, there's never any normal clothes. It's even nothing. What's it called? The necklace and a bare top and feet. But even the shorts, it's all there. It's all their gear. Is that just because they don't want to have to worry about their normal stuff? Every now and then when you wake up in the morning and go, I'll just wear this normal top. No normal top, no normal clothes, nothing. You think it's agreed? When you're here, you got to wear this stuff?
No. I just think it's, well, I don't, but I think it's probably just a case of they're in those clothes because they're waiting to go to the training facility. It's probably when they get filmed by the
Well, so after what about when they've come back from the training facility?
Well,
Still waiting to go?
And then when they come back, probably don't bother changing out those clothes. It's probably just going to go and hit the sack in an hour or two. So I doubt I'd wear much of me. I don't think I'll be walking around in jeans and polo shirt or whatever, because there's no point, right? It's just going to go.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about however many contestants there are. They all feel the same as you. They all go, well, what am I going to put jeans on for?
Now I'll get us walking around with little crop tops on and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but they're tough crop tops.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe they are told to wear that stuff. I don't know. Possible, but I mean, I just don't see the point of it. You know, you're watching the show already, aren't you? You don't need it subconsciously advertised into your head by clothing.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing, though. The branding is always in your face. When you come away and you go to sleep, you're trying to get some sleep, and all you can see is a pair of sliders and some feet trying to crush you. But it don't matter anyway. After all, his name ain't Petrovsky, is it? The brain says Petrovsky, doesn't it? Because that's just what the brain says, that Andre. His name is saying like Petrovsky, and it's not Petrovsky. There's no V in there, is there? I only noticed that.
I think it's Petrovsky.
Say it again, please.
Petrovsky.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty good at getting names right. So trying to pull myself up here and go, I've probably been saying his name wrong. But just in case people thought his name was Petrovsky, I've already forgotten what it is, but he'll tell you. So after you remember Petrovsky, what's his name again? Just one more. Petrovsky. Then chats that time about, oh, these coaches are brilliant. They care about us. They care. They take selfies with us outside. They came to see us. They're brilliant. After all that, we learn from Petrovsky himself He tells us. He's the one who gave it all that chat of, oh, they're so great. They're the best ever. Now we've got a little clip of him saying that the team, the coaches, have a history of turning up late to practices.
Brian and the other coaches do have a history of being late to practice.
What happened to they're brilliant and they care about us? I mean, that was a bit of a bit of an insight there to how do they really care?
I did think it was a bad look. You know, you got these guys there. Your job, I imagine they get paid to appear on The Ultimate Fighter. I assume that the UFC gives them some kind of financial reward for, working on that show.
Yeah.
And they're there to, let's just say they want to do a Conor McGregor and they don't say Ortega doesn't turn up to the morning practice or he misses a few practices here and there. Doesn't matter. The coaches should still be there on time. And of course, sometimes you run a bit late, run a bit behind schedule, but they made out that this is basically the way it always is. They're always running behind schedule. They're always late. Volkanovski's alluded to it in the past as well. Isn't a very good look. I think it's disrespectful. You know, I don't like it when people are late. You're always late. I think it's really crap and really disrespectful to the person who you're making wait. And the way you feel about how Ortega's been crap, maybe you should also apply that to your own life.
Well, but hang on.
I don't think I've ever seen you turn up on time to anything ever. And I ain't talking about 2 minutes here and there. I'm talking about times where you'd say, yeah, I'll meet you on your lunch break. I'd go and I'd wait for you and you'd turn up 15 minutes later and I've got 10 minutes left of my lunch break. Now, it didn't happen once or twice. It happened regular. So, yeah, people are crap. You're crap. And I do think it says something about Ortega that he's not turning up on time.
I don't know. I guess there's timely people in the world and then there's untimely. Ultimately, I don't think anyone's too upset with it. We just kind of learned to deal with it.
So, just hang on. I didn't see this as a vehicle to get smashed here. Maybe I should have left this bit out. I didn't know that was coming. Maybe it is time for self-reflection. But I didn't say that Ortega was crap. I said that Petrosky said he was crap. So maybe I'm all right with him turning up late. But I have to say, I ain't, because they were sitting there and one of them said that, he's going to be another 40 minutes or so.
I don't think Ortega's actually going to get here.
You know they ain't coming for another 40.
So it is a bit crap. Disrespectful. I don't know. I don't see myself as being disrespectful to you. I mean, the other day, you've given me examples from years ago, lunch breaks. That was years ago when I was a kid, where I had different thoughts on life and how to treat people and stuff. I was learning how to become myself. Yes, the example you brought up. Let's bring up a modern example. Ren Kitchens. I remember being on time for that. Hang on. I went into Asda first and made us late.
That's right. So even that one little good example you thought you had in your back pocket, even that ended up being naff as well. Anyway, I won't carry on down this road of saying you're crap.
Thanks, mate. All right. Okay.
I think that's been proved beyond doubt now. But the Ortega stuff is rubbish. These guys are there. It's one of those things, because I was watching them going, you know what, maybe somebody should be taking the lead here and going, all right, guys, let's get warmed up. Let's do this, let's do that. But I appreciate why someone isn't, because one, no one likes to become a self-appointed leader. And two, what happens if, say, you're 10 minutes into your warm-up and then Ortega and everybody rolls in and goes, right, what's going on? I want to do this or I want to do that. And so I get why they kind of, at first I was looking at them all lounging around going, we're little bag guys, do some skipping. But you don't know what Ortega and stuff are going to turn up and do after. So I get why they're a little bit like, well, I guess we just sit here and wait. I think it's really bad, really disrespectful. If it happens once, it happens twice. These are down to whatever. Got stuck in a traffic jam. Like I say, I had to go and buy Henna some new trainers because his feet burst out the last ones. But this, if it's happening regular, it's bad. It's bad.
Are they going to turn up 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 40 minutes late? So what do we do? He might walk in the door in 2 seconds.
You know they ain't coming for another 40.
Or should we just ignore them and just go, well, if they turn up, they turn up? Because the facts are the facts. They are waiting there and they are there for those guys. But they could have let Rettinghouse know that they were going to be late. as he was in such a rush, he didn't even get a chance to comb his hair. He had a really powers head barnet, one of them big clumps off the back of his head. It's a good one, a good example. That scene of them turning up late, which is something that other people on the show may have known about, but we didn't really know. No one mentioned this to us. It leads us into, and there is a link. What do they call it? A segue. Let's use it. A Helwani. A segue. We can be professional too, you know. Into the Volkanovski prank. Because this is why clocks were used in the prank. Because we didn't know. We saw the little clip last week. Went, what's this clocks crap all about? It was a clue behind the much anticipated Volkanovski return, get back, revenge prank.
Before this, I'm thinking, what in the hell is this no-brain guy gonna do to get me? Clocks.
His idea was to get a load of clocks as a dig to Ortega always being late and never being on time.
Ortega, probably not a bad bloke, but he's always late. And, that ain't professional.
His jewel in the crown, though, was to sit on a shelf with a smiling clock covering his piece.
So why not just get in there and be half naked and put a little smiley clock in front of me as well, just for a bit of fun, just to top it off.
Now we have an understanding of what this prank is all about and the reason behind the clocks. I'm going to ask you now, you know all this. Do you like the prank? Did you like the prank? Would you even call it a prank?
I think I shared Ortega's sentiment. Ortega was, I think, quite good in this scene because he kind of laughed, went along with it, didn't, sort of act like a baby. It was
brilliant. He loved it. He gave the impression he loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second that Volkanovski left the room, he just picked up one of the clocks and just tossed it on the floor and just like, what's a load of crap?
Come on, bro.
And I have to say, he's right. It was, I like the Volkanovski, we're going to up our game. Don't you worry about that.
We're going to be doing some solid pranks ourselves, so don't you worry about that.
Or whatever he said about the prank. It was one of those ones where I was like cringing watching it because I was like, this is really, really bad. The best bit was, I think it was Dustin Lampros writing better late than ever rather than better late than never.
I think we're going to go with, in big writing, Ortega time, and then better late than never.
Oh, mate. He can turn up in a Porsche with his mate, but he's tick us out, isn't he?
Well, he's
better late than ever.
And Volkanovski was like, no, mate, it's never.
Don't worry about it. Just put an N in front, and that's that sorted.
It's not that sorted, though, because he had a capital E. So capital E and then small VER or whatever. But yeah, anyway.
It ended up being like one of those serial killer notes out of the newspaper where they use a little E and a big N, and you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, from the headlines. Yeah, it is. It's a terrible. It was I'm not going to say it's a terrible idea. Doing a prank based on the fact that he's got a reputation for bad timekeeping. He's all right.
Look, if you're going to make your team wait, you shouldn't. I'm gonna bring it up.
I think I said to you before that maybe all the clocks were going to be set so they all went off as an alarm at the same time, and then they had to all go around one by one, turning all the alarms off. Maybe something like that would have been better.
Yeah, at the start of when training's meant to start. Pretty good, mate.
Or something like that.
Better.
But instead, it was just as I think Ortega picking one of the clocks off the wall and throwing it on the floor in the manner he did. I think he summed up everybody's thoughts about that prank in that one move.
We get in there and Volkanovski pulls a stupid little prank about the clocks. Come on, bro.
Yeah. He did.
Someone's got to clean up that room afterwards.
I know.
So cleaning up that room, going, flipping hell, I can't even just throw these clocks in the bin, right? Because they're probably, that thing where you've got to dispose of them in a certain manner, because they've got batteries in them and all that. So I can't just throw these in the bin. I've got to take them to the recycling dump or something like that.
Yeah.
He stuck these bloody Velcro things all over the wall everywhere, so I've got to scrape them off. Might need to give the wall a new lick of paint.
Yeah, they're going to pull the paint off.
On a shelf with his arse out with a stupid clock in front of it. It's just like everybody in that facility should have been like, that was such a bad prank. That's probably the worst prank I've ever seen. I mean, all the pranks are garbage on the Ultimate Fighter, but that's going to be an Ultimate Fighter flashback in years to come. The worst ever prank, Volkanovski.
Yeah.
On the wall. It is bad, really bad.
I liked Ortega. I thought he was brilliant. Loved the way he came in, killing himself laughing. He was amazing. Put him on his shoulders to get him off the shelf. I mean, he was amazing about it when he was good. But like you say, the clock off the wall dash and the video clips afterwards, like, is that the best you've got? Crap.
Come on, bro.
They were two different things, yeah. So that was the prank.
If you're going to sleep in or whatever you're doing, you know, if you're setting alarms, set it earlier.
I'm still going to be late, guys.
We're on Ortega time.
That's the worst ever prank. The best ever prank is pissing on Jason Thacker when he's asleep.
That isn't even an agreed prank move. That's just something that happened on a show, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, was it Koscheck? When it Koscheck who pissed on Lieben when he was drunk and asleep?
I don't know if Koz has actually done the wee. It might have been that other big bloke who was Koz's mate on there. Southall or something. Southall.
Bobby Southworth.
Southworth, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Southworth, I think.
I can't remember who did the wee, is the truth. But it was them two that were the real instigators. Yeah, they were bad for him, yeah. He said something about his fatherless.
Yeah.
I had that. Really nasty. You know, like touching nerves, wasn't he? You know?
Yeah.
Dana's reward, as we know, on the Ultimate Fighter, there's no contact with the outside world. But because Dana liked the fights so far, he's decided to reward the semi-final fighters with a call to their families at home.
I decided to reward each of the semi-finalists with a call home.
I'll tell you what I will say about him. Now we're chatting about him and he's been brought up in this context. I'm going to say, we always say he's good, right? But you know what I do really like about him when it comes to Ultimate Fighter? He's always there. Always there at the fights, always watching them. You know, comes out and smashes gizzards in and says, "You want to tell everyone what's going on, Miles?" He's always there. You know, it shows a lot to have someone say they're involved in it. But that's just chat. He ain't just chat, is he? He is involved in it. He's there. He's picking the semi-final fights a lot. He's a good boss bloke. That's the president. He don't have to be there. He's in it all the way through. Good, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a fair enough point. These are fights where he could easily go, look, I'm going to send one of my minions to go and watch this fight, or, you know, I'll send Okamoto to cover it, or I'll send a Levy to sit there, or something. But he doesn't. Like you say, every single series, he's there, bright red and pink, big bubble head, either saying, that's what we want, that's what we like, kid, that was a great fight, or saying, that was crap. You know, he's always there. And I do think that's good. You know, his passion for it is undeniable, I think. So
yeah, you're right. I think you're right. He could have sent in anyone to do that for him. And like you said, it don't have to go, well, let's send in Shelby. Well, Shelby's not really a cameraman. You know, he's not someone who's good in front of the camera. He doesn't want to be on telly like that. He's got other people that do present shows, that do see themselves as, you know, presenters, and can easily do that for him. But this is the 29th season and he's still there.
Don't forget, it's just one fight as well. It's not like he turns up and there's a whole card to watch or anything like that. He can turn up. Maybe that's why he's so pissed off with people like Miles, or when people put in a really stinky performance. Yeah. Maybe that's why he's not, because he's like, listen, I've got lots of things to do. I don't have to come and watch these fights. I've come and watched. It is your chance to impress me. As big-headed as that might be, he is the big wheel when it comes to mixed martial art. And he's like, you know, you got me out of my bed for this garbage.
I'll be back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. So that's what he does. He rewards the fellas. Well, call to your family. You're not allowed to have it. Turcios has told us at the beginning, no family, no video games. I can't give you the video games, but I'll give you a call to your family. Only the people that have got through. Luidvick home call. He does a video call to his mum and dad. And I really like this. You know, the sort of guy I am. These chats, they were my sort of chats. They were my sort of chats, these. It's what families are meant to all be about. He said they don't care. They don't care if I win or lose, or if I get into the UFC or not. Yeah, it's proper tight stuff, that. It's exactly what should be waiting for you at home, and isn't with everyone. Not everyone's got a Quoll family, but he's got a Quoll family. I really liked his chats. His mate Vitality, brilliant name. He came on, and I like what he had to say about him as well. You know, he basically treats him as a brother. And one thing that really stood out for me that he said about him was that he taught him how to be a friend. I mean, great line. You see, the difference here is the Turcios was all a load of, I don't know, stuff. Yeah, that's it. But this was real. You know, this to me was proper. These chats meant a lot more to me. Turcios chats, yeah, I found it funny. It's a show and I enjoyed it still. You know, it's a laugh.
All it made me go is I know where he gets it from.
Yeah, same here. Same here. But honestly, I really enjoyed, and it's nothing. No, I did. I enjoyed Luidvick's home vid call because to me it was, you know, friends, family, and everyone should have a family like that to go home to. Whether he's got money, whether he's got fame, fortune, gets in or not, it don't matter. They're there for him. To me, that was a Quoll home vid. All right. Well, the Turcios home call. He decided, I'm going to ring my dad. You put a wig on that fella, and that is an instant drag queen. It looked to me like he was wearing makeup and everything. Did not look like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he was 100% wearing makeup. Bang a wig on and we're in, right? And maybe he does. You do whatever you want.
Maybe he's got just really nice skin.
I don't know, mate. It must have been boiling hot where he was because that sweat was dripping off that head, smearing his makeup and everything. He also likes to say man a lot because he's all laid back and chilled out.
Man, I'm so happy to see you, man. I'm excited to hear about what's going on, man. You send me good energy every day, man. Really, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm like so proud of you. Let's go, man. Let's go.
He produces offspring like Turcios. So what do you expect him to be like? It's exactly what you would expect from the father of the spiritual Turcios. I thought his dad seemed like a brilliant bloke, though.
Yeah, kind of got my nerves a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look, how can he not? Well, how can he not seem like a decent fella? You know, he's only on the telly for a couple of minutes. What can he say? I mean, you know, he's just there on a phone call saying, you know, hello, son, how's it going? And it's hard to really come across as too much of a scumbag. I hated what Turcios done. Hang on a second, Dad. Hang on a second, Dad. And then when it got the gloves and then put them in front of his face.
Brilliant.
The gloves, UFC, Dad, or whatever. I hated that.
Let me even show you. Check it out. Let me show you real quick too. Look at this. Look at I even got these right here. Boom. Got my first pair, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
I'm out of the wardrobe. He's all excited about it.
Yeah, I know, but his dad knows he's going to have UFC gloves because he's just gone to appear on The Ultimate Fighter. I mean, look.
Yeah, but it's a symbol of how far he's come. He's like, look, I've got my own pair of UFC gloves. You're not a very sentimental fella, are you, really? To be fair?
Look, I thought that it seemed like they have a good, nice, tight relationship. But
there's more mates than father and son.
But let's just be honest. I wouldn't want to have to go and get a slice of pizza if them two are standing around it. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want all the spiritual stuff. I can't be bothered with it because I just don't buy it. It's just so much of it just felt like you were saying, hot air. Just felt like the kind of stuff you see somebody painting on the walls in a gym. You know, to try and get out one more rep. You know, sweat is just tears leaving the body and all that kind of garbage. I actually think Turcios seems like a jolly nice fella. It just a bit annoying with all that spiritual stuff, that's all.
I think it might be sweat is pain leaving the body. I don't know why sweat is tears leaving the body.
Well, you cry when you're in pain, don't you? It's that same sort of thing, really.
That's a Dana White reward home family call scenes. Done.
Love you, Dad. Boom.
The next is the weigh-ins.
Good morning, coaches. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the Ultimate Fighter semifinal featuring Ricky Turcios and Luidvick Sholinian.
Don't get too excited. Both made weight with no issues. The only thing I've really got to say about this scene is that Luidvick looked like a string bean. Just nothing there. Nothing. If you boiled him like you'd boil a string bean, it just turned to mush. Not doing. Time for the Ultimate Fighter flashback. Last week, I said that there couldn't be a worse flashback than the one that was filmed from inside Court McGee's crack. There can't be a worse one than this. Well, I tell you what, I was wrong. I was definitely wrong, because apparently the incomparable John Gunther is one of the most unique characters in TUF history.
One of the most unique characters in TUF history, the incomparable John Gunther.
Now, if that's true, because that's the line he's told me, Desert's come out with it. All right. Well, I've seen him. I know who you're talking about, the alpaca bloke. I know. So I tell you what, I ain't got the best of memories. Run me through it. Run me through and tell me. Just prove it. He's one of the most unique characters. I want to know why. In this flashback, they start showing some clips of it, and they fail miserably because he's crap. Rubbish. Just rubbish. Well, what you got to say about it? You've watched it, ain't you? You've seen the actual season that he's in.
Yeah, I watched it. I remember him, everyone making a big song and dance over the fact that he shaved alpacas for a living, and I think he'd done an impression. I think they might have showed it on the flashback. Does an impression.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Make a noise like this, and then he does it with his voice, and everybody seemed to think that was hilarious.
You could do it. Try it.
Nah,
he said they scream, they make a noise.
Yeah, and I'm not
something like that, wasn't it?
It's just,
Yeah, and then he just goes and gets himself choked out in 30 seconds or whatever it is, and then wakes up and goes, "What happened?"
Unfortunately, Gunther only lasted a little over 10 seconds before getting choked out in his preliminary fight.
I was fighting, and then all of a sudden, I just saw some people looking down at me, and I'm like, oh no, why am I staring at the ceiling? Shoot.
I mean, if that's worth a flashback,
it's bad, isn't it?
I mean, don't say much when you've had 29 series of this thing, and you're already pulling the John Gunthers out. I think that kind of lets people know, don't bother going back and watching the back catalogue, because it's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Two terrible ones in a row. For me, I think maybe, I don't know how they dig these out. I think maybe they should ask the fans what to use for these flashbacks, because
if they asked the fans, Gunther wouldn't even have got 0.01%. Not one person.
There you go.
It would have been stuff like Bisping falling off the ice hockey table or whatever, the
yeah, brilliant.
Breaking his back. It would have been stuff like that. It would not have been, even Josh Koscheck having the smash up with a nurse. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was way better.
Way better, yeah. Gunther, it wouldn't have entered your mind, would it? Nor would a story about Court McGee. It wouldn't have. Because as you rightly so said, okay, the story, great story. It's not a flashback.
No.
So
terrible.
Yeah, two real awful ones in a row there. So flashback off. I mean, I don't know what's going on. That's what I think they should do. I think they should ask the fans next time and see what they come up with, because whoever DeFranco's got on that job, he just needs to do something else in the company, because picking flashbacks, it's just not your thing. You'll be good at something else. You ain't good at that. Oh, Turcios. He's got an I'll get a notebook. He's got a notebook.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Look, he writes stuff down. It's fine. It's good for memories. But I ask you, who's he reading it out to? I want to know. Who's he reading it out to? He's sitting upstairs, in bed, on his own. Who's he reading it out to? DeFranco? Who's he reading it out to? He's just reading it out. Why is he reading it out?
I woke up with such a great feeling in my chest on this fight day. I say thank you to the universe for all that has come into action to make this dream a reality. I say thank you to myself for having the guts and the courage to pursue my dreams. I can remember being a little kid one time saying I didn't want to do Taekwondo anymore. LOL.
And it got something to do with, if you say it, it will come true, in that why they walk around putting their hands in the air after they finish shadow boxing, because it's visualization and all this.
Oh my God,
stuff.
I didn't realize. Okay. Well, I didn't know. That's why I've asked. I've asked an oracle.
I don't know. Listen, I can't be bothered to write things down. If I have to write something down, I get the because I'm always like, where's a pen? Now where's a bit of paper?
Yeah.
To me, I can't. I hate it. So I certainly wouldn't be doing it without good reason. Well, he would say.
Yeah, jam-packed that notebook, wasn't it? I mean, it was tight. I'm sure that it'll help some people out. I'm sure it's going to have an effect on some people, but it didn't on me. That's it. Now we're on to the fight. This fight is the first semi-final fight, 2 bantamweights, as we've mentioned. Luidvick Sholinian versus Ricky Turcios. These are semi-final fights, so they're changed a little bit. They're now 3 rounds and not 2. A bit more serious. So let's go.
All right, gentlemen. It's going to be a 3-round fight. All right? If there's a draw, we shall go to sudden victory. You understand?
Yeah.
You understand? All right, gentlemen. Ready to fight? Ready to fight? Hell!
Round 1. Turcios. He does some brilliant noises right at the start of it. What are you? To some of that stuff. I love all that. I love it all. I wish you'd do it more. I only got a couple of examples right near the beginning. It's just not enough. These are things that I like, Turcios. I know you're listening. Some more noises, please. They're both cautious to start with. Turcios takes a lead simply by throwing more stuff, just doing a bit more, being a bit more active, pushing the pace, if you like. He does some good punch combos, ending with kicks. I like those. I thought that was good. Luidvick got a few decent shots in, but to be honest, Turcios led that fight, or that round so far. He also kept Luidvick up against the cage for periods of time as well. Then at the end, in about the last 30 seconds, he blasted Luidvick with a load of stuff, including the spin kick. So I clearly gave this round to Turcios. No question. That's it.
Stop!
That's me, round 1. Was you asleep through this round? Oh, no, okay.
Well, I mean, I can just sum up the fight in one. I don't need to take it round by round. It was just, to me, it looked like Turcios overwhelmed him with volume and variety, and Luidvick became a bit bamboozled by it and a bit sort of spellbound by it. Didn't really know how to deal with it. Didn't really know how to handle it. And I think by about the end of round 2, I was thinking he could get a late stoppage here. Luidvick's starting to look a little overwhelmed by it, starting to look a little bit deflated, a bit like I can't seem to just sort of wrestle this guy or get. He's too wriggly. He's too things coming from every angle, and he looked a little bit deflated from it at the end of round 2, as well as, he was taking a fair amount of strikes and stuff like that. But I think Turcios' cardio probably let him down a little bit in the last round. Harsh to say, because I think he was very active through the first 2 rounds, but he got a little bit scrappy in the 3rd round, and that gave, I think, Sholinian a little bit of a glimmer of hope that he could just walk onto an overhand right or something. I think there was one punch in the 3rd round where I went, oh, he's definitely caught Turcios and stiffened him up a little bit there. But he was obviously tired himself. It was just, sorry to jump ahead, but to me it was just a clear 30-27. Job done.
You're all good. You're all good. That was more of your summary of the fight. But there could be people that don't have, say, BT Sport, haven't seen it, wait for us to chat about it. So because we know that people like Nightwalker could be waiting for this, I won't disappoint. And I will go through a more detailed breakdown of how I saw and what happened in round 2. A bit more like a professional broadcaster that says, well, it's on live, but it's pay-per-view, but you can listen to the vocal here. You can listen to the radio version.
All right, gentlemen, 2nd round. Ready to fight? Fight. Handle. Let's go.
So pretty early on in round 2, Luidvick takes Turcios down. So we could see a little bit of a switch here. But not much happens. Turcios, not long after, gets back to his feet. But he does look tired, as you say. Turcios goes for a takedown, but he gets reversed by Luidvick. And then they spend some time back and forth on the ground with no one getting a clear advantage. So not really much. A bit of a stalemate. After a short while, back on the feet, Luidvick goes for another takedown. This time it gets reversed, and Turcios does control him for a little bit before it goes back to the feet for the last 30 seconds of the round, where they bang it out against the cage. And Turcios gets the better of that. So all things considered, even though this one was a lot more back and forth, I gave this round to Turcios as well.
Good job, guys.
Which to me meant that Luidvick needed a stoppage. He needed to finish this fight. And he can do. He's got another round. Before they start round 3, there's some pointing to the ground stuff. A little shout from Turcios, Go! And chats from Luidvick. So they're both letting you know, I'm ready for this. I'll meet you in the center. You know, those chats. Which, remember, BJ Penn done those chats to Diego Sanchez, and it just so happens to be Turcios, who is the new Sanchez. And Sanchez did all that chat, like meet you in the center, and BJ Penn said, oh, okay then, Diego, I'll meet you in the center. Anyway, so there's all that going on. So you think, well, I'm in for a good one here.
All right, gentlemen, third final round. Ready to fight? Yes. Ready to fight. Handle, let's go.
The round is basically a slugfest between two tired fighters, but Turcios, he gets the best of it. You could see outside the cage that Dana was sitting there loving it because you could actually see him smiling.
That third round was an absolute war. Without a doubt, one of the best rounds this season.
The problem was that Luidvick looked too basic, too slow, flat-footed, run-of-the-mill. And honestly, I don't think he showed much skill level. I gave all 3 rounds to Turcios with a Shinku Hadouken. This time, just as he opens the cage door, he fires it at his teammates.
Ultimate move! Shinku Hadouken! Yeah!
Brilliant. You know I like the Shinku Hadouken.
Winner in the red corner, Ricky.
Let's go. Wow. With the spot in the finale on the line, Ricky and Luidvick went at it. Those guys went toe-to-toe for 3 rounds.
It was a good fight. I enjoyed the fight. I remember last week you picked Luidvick to win this. As a matter of fact, from memory, I might have to go back and listen to it because I enjoy listening to the show so much. So I might do that. But if I were to go back and listen to it, I'm pretty sure, I don't need to because I can do memory, but I might go just to confirm it. I'm pretty sure you said he was going to win the whole thing. Now, I could be wrong. What did you think of Luidvick's performance? Did the string bean come out? I mean, I think he looked a little bit, the skill level I thought looked a bit, flat. That's all. Didn't show me much. What do you think? What do we now think of these fighters? Is Luidvick UFC caliber? Is he getting another shot? Is he good enough for UFC? Does he need to go back out, win some more fights on the circuit, kid, and I'll see you later? What are we talking here? Is Turcios now seen as your tip to win has been done? Is Turcios now the tip to win, or is it one of the other ones, Cody Garbrandt or whatever? No, he's not in it. Yeah, Murdoch. So tell me about it.
Yes, I wasn't that impressed by Luidvick, but we've seen him against Raposo, who I do think's good, and he obviously won that fight. And his strength and his grappling, his cardio were enough to get him over the line against Raposo, who I think's decent. So I think Luidvick's good. I'd give him a shot in the UFC. Turcios, I thought he was a lot better in this fight than he was in his first fight. In his first fight, he was getting hit with a lot of shots, especially considering Dan Argueta's got little T-Rex arms. He was getting hit with a lot of shots that he shouldn't have been getting hit with. And that's why I thought Luidvick might win this fight. But his range management was a lot better this time. He was a lot more active with his strikes, throwing combinations and stuff. When he got taken to the ground, he was throwing a lot of strikes, not giving Luidvick any time to sort of cement the position. I think he was throwing strikes straight away, elbows, and then wriggling, putting his feet on the hips. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
And very good. So I see Turcios winning it. Now, you were
right,
saying...
Okay.
I don't remember. I'll have to watch back the show and all this sort of stuff. Well, maybe you should watch back the show because if you remember, I said I'm going to stick with Luidvick because he was my early pick. But judging by the clips I saw at the end of the last episode, I think it looked bad for Luidvick and it looked like Turcios was getting the better of the fight.
Well, yeah, but that's cheating. That's based on a clip.
No, that's not cheating. That's me using my brain and going, look, I'm going to stick with Luidvick because I said that he might win the show weeks ago. But using my prediction system of when the fights take place and the clips from the previous show, I thought that Turcios looked like he was going to win it. And he did. So
yeah, but it don't matter, right? Then that should have been that I'm not sticking with that pick because it's now incorrect. But you went, it might not be.
Then you'd go, no, crap, you just change it, last minute every time. I had to.
Well, no, you changed it.
I had to stick my original pick, but I predicted that Turcios was going to win. Turcios, I think he's looking good to win the whole thing.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go.
Do you not think?
Yeah. Look, the main threat, and you've said it, is Murdoch. Because that guy's absolute powers. Only other thing to say about that fight is I really like the chats afterwards between Turcios and Dana White. We've had a little bit of a dig, you especially more than me, about Turcios' chats. But these chats I did really like, especially the bit, it was only short, but the bit I really, really liked a lot was thanks for what you did for the martial arts.
Great fight, kid. Third round was badass, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, thanks for what you did for the martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you too, man. You know
All
what I'm
right,
saying?
man.
Fights,
Congrats.
I thought that was brilliant. I loved it. I think it's good because I do think it was genuine. And that's what we want, genuine chats. I do think he meant that. I do think he was looking for an opportunity to go, you know what? I'm glad I've been able to use martial arts and, on a stage and get paid for it, etc. And I've given this opportunity. And I think it's good to tell someone who has had a massive hand in showcasing, as Turcios puts it, the martial arts. And I think it's good to go to the bloke and go, listen, thanks very much for everything you've done. Never mind me and belt moves and getting up on cages and pointing to the sky. Yeah, thanks to you for putting this on, sitting. We just said he's brilliant for always sitting there. I liked it. Dana White gave him the old no problem, brother, and all that. I think it's good. It's good to hear that. Just because you're at the top of the tree and you've got loads of money, it don't mean you don't want to be thanked for it. I liked it. Good bit of Turcios. Good Dana White reaction like that. But Turcios did do an Argetta after it. Dream big. Work hard. Stay positive. Enjoy the journey.
Dream big, work hard, stay positive, enjoy the journey.
Do you have one of those? Doesn't have to be based on fighting. Just can be based on life in general. Do you have one? I'm sure you will. You're that kind of guy. You're Turcio-ish.
Get in the cage. Have a scrap. Stop talking shit.
I knew it. I knew it.
Maybe I need to have a think about it, but that's just one that immediately sprung to mind.
Good one.
Yeah.
Only other thing here was one of the crew members, respectfully, I'd say, he asked Luidvick for a real quick interview after the fight. He said, could I have a quick interview, please, Luidvick? And Luidvick's there all disappointed. And it's that bloke's job, that crew member, that's his job to give us content and do these interviews. So I've got no problem with it. Someone could go, oh, leave him alone. It's just been done. It's like, my job is to film this whole thing. So if you want, I'll film him, I'll film him having a crap, but I need to film this bloke. And normally we have interviews with winners and losers. We've got people in the UFC now complaining. The Italian bloke, Di Chirico, going, it's crap this because you only interview winners. Luidvick is a loser. No, wait, that's badly said. Luidvick lost this fight. Luidvick lost this fight.
Luidvick's a loser, do you?
No, string bean, not a loser. Luidvick lost this fight and he's going to get interviewed. If that's what you want, Di Chirico, then stop complaining about it. I enjoyed that bit because it was a real, what I like, fly on the wall moment. They didn't have to leave that bit in there where he asked Luidvick, can I have a real quick interview? And he said no and walked off. So I liked that. Real fly on the wall. That's what I want to see. That led into the scene afterwards, which Ortega followed him and he had chats with him. And it was the usual stuff, if you like. You need to be proud of yourself. You're a warrior. It was a good moment. It seemed real, seemed genuine, showed a lot about Ortega. I liked the chat between Ortega and Luidvick. So there are those two bits. Now, if I want to ask you questions about that, of course I can. And I'm going to. But do you think Luidvick should have said yeah? Or do you think just real is real? He didn't want an interview and he walked off. Or should he have been aware of the situation and gone, I agreed this. It's a television show. I agreed that it's going to be warts and all. This is warts and all. Everyone else has done it before me. I now have to do it. What do you think? What's your thoughts on Luidvick's reaction?
Well, let's say he listened to a podcast where somebody took the piss out of somebody who done a after-fight interview after losing and heard somebody ripping, say, I don't know, let's just say Rettinghouse lost the fight and somebody done a podcast and mocked the way Rettinghouse was speaking after that. Maybe Luidvick thought, I don't want that same mocking coming my way. And so maybe that was in his thought process. So that's possible. I think at the end of the day, he should be free to decide when he does and doesn't want to have a chat with he's not saying he will never speak to him, but he don't want to chat right now. He's emotional, don't want to go on camera and probably start crying because he was crying to Ortega, or it seemed that way. So let the guy be. Now's not the time. And have a chat with him later. He's not really a very chatty guy either, is he? Let's be honest.
But you want him at that raw. That's when you want the chat.
You said you liked the content because you then got, rather than rather than an interview, a planned interview, you got a fly on the wall, disappointed guy walking around, deflated, getting hugged by Ortega and stuff like that. So you still got that same content. It just was in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I think I got it better.
Doing a Rettinghouse, crying, and then you taking the piss out of him next week. So in many ways, it's better that he chose that route.
It's a very fair point. Not something, again, like the turning up late to things, not something I was expecting to come up. Sounds like more criticism that I'm going to have to deal with. But Luidvick's got to realise you're on telly. You've put yourself out there. There's going to be people out there that do review shows on things. I've said Luidvick, but that's the wrong person I'm talking about now. But that's because you said Luidvick's got it in his mind of what happened to Rettinghouse. But if anyone's got an issue with it, Rettinghouse or Luidvick, you can't be on telly. You're going to have people reviewing the show and having chats about it. And as far as I'm concerned, all I did was highlight the truth, highlight what happened. That's all. That's all. I can't call saying what happened mocking. There's no mocking. There was just Rettinghouse after the fight. Just that's all. That's all I was doing. But you're right. I got a nice moment afterwards, which I would have preferred to the usual camera in the face interview. Exactly. So you're right. You're right there. It did lead to something else. In the clip for the next episode, it shows a team challenge, which we haven't had for years. So that's good. I don't mean the coach's challenge. I mean a team challenge. So well done, DeFranco. Nice one for that. Looked a bit crap. Toyo Tires. It was more about Toyo Tires than the team challenge. Let's be honest. Toyo Tires said, "Oh, can we do something where we can have our stinking, not even a logo? It's just TOYO Tires written plain." You know, whoever came up with that probably came up with Warrior Camp for Rettinghouse's crap. It was probably more to do with that, but I do appreciate that we do not have challenges against team members. So I am looking forward to that. What do you think about that? But where's the coach's challenge is something else. I hope that's coming.
Well, I still think the coach's challenge will hopefully take place. I don't see why it wouldn't. Usually takes place right towards the end of the series, doesn't it? So there's still a few episodes left. So there's still potential for that to happen. I don't see why that wouldn't happen. And I thought this was good. Just something to watch, a little bit of competitive spirit between the two teams. Like you say, it's more a vehicle to show off Toyo Tires and get a bit of extra product placement and advertising in. But, you know, changing tires on a truck or whatever, it's just crap.
Yeah, but we thought that from the clip, we thought that the clock prank was going to be crap, and we got proved wrong.
Exactly.
This could be the same, right?
Much hope here. It's still something, right? It still might be of excitement. There might be probably is going to be some money on the line for the winning team and stuff like that. They should do that every week. Should do something like that every week.
Agreed. There's enough time.
Oh yeah, of course. There's plenty of time. The show has so much filler in it. There's plenty of time to do stuff like that.
That's it. The only thing left to say is next week it's Battles versus Petrovsky. That's the next fight, and that's the end of the review of this episode.
Well, judging by the highlights clip that they showed, that fight ain't going very long.
Elaborate, please, on your reasoning for that.
Well, they said Battle versus Petrovsky, and they didn't show one clip of anyone landing a punch, anyone engaging. They just showed, I think, Petrovsky going across the cage, you know, whoever the ref was, just basically going, fight, or whatever, and then it just went, and then it just ended, you know, before. So as far as I'm concerned, someone either gets banged out early or someone gets submitted early, and there's nothing else to show. I think that probably looks bad news for Battle, because I don't think he's an explosive puncher. I don't think he's a submission bloke. So I think he's either going to get taken down early and submitted early, or he's going to get banged out with an overhand right, something like that.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. But I did predict the previous week, so I'm going to do a cover-all basis. I did predict the previous week that I think Battles is going to win decision.
That's right. That's right. So, but that was just for fun, which you couldn't have said before. It was based on the little clip or lack of clip. Just a bit of fun, everybody. That's all. I'm not going to hold it against him or hold him to it, as they say. It's just a bit of fun. Thanks very much for listening, if anybody did listen. But yeah, thank you for taking part. and making this show what it is. I appreciate it.
Making it bearable.
And I'll see you for the next one. All right? Okay, mate. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.
What a crap ending. See you later.
The Ricky Show. I love it.